like there's no auxiliary mic being picked up again. So just head into your settings, audio. Device not connected or unavailable. Yeah, if you could reselect your microphone there, please. That's why it's missing from YouTube.
Just speak quickly.
It looks like it's working. You guys hear me now on YouTube? Please let me know. You still don't hear it on YouTube? I still don't hear it on YouTube. Oh, I can hear it. How about now? You guys should be able to hear it. Okay, they got me. All right, guys, I'll be back in a minute after the disclaimer stuff.
China's offshore yuan rising 0.5% against the dollar.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, EAS, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as the express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit by losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment to no Staples Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers farmers without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41. Hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account will likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program and spot trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may or overcompensate for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general and to implementation of any specific trading program which
Trading is extremely risky. You can decide on my personal trading, use on your own risk, and potentially lose your entire account anymore. And I was profitable and 14 drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet that passes is my personal spreadsheet that I use at its own values and ATR values, and I'll give my exact prices to my trades. You can see when I add those own prices into this spreadsheet, as well as prices in the trades, whether you want to long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm its own prices until you're able to draw its own spread for yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you what you actually trade, and has actual prices and stock prices for both long and short positions depending on which one you personally decide to trade.
All right, good morning. Stuff's a little crazy here. I just shorted. I was short NASDAQ. We'll go over those trades. I'm short ES, failed balance breakout, and now I just put on Bark and Lick. So we'll go over these strategies, but I'm short off this latest event here. ATR retest confirm, so I'm short there. Lick obviously is there. You can see these guys moved it up, so that will probably 100% get filled. I did take a couple sexy gexies here, got run over. I didn't have time. I had so many things on at the time, I didn't look at the relative volume, and I just got smoked. So the sexy gexies, we'll go over that trade too. You know, you want to try to avoid playing these gamma levels. So the trade is looking for a volume event at these method Q or spot gamma levels. You know, so you get dealer reaction. The dealers do react here, but when there's heavy relative volume coming in, you don't want to be stepping in front of that, and you can see it just blew right through there. So I got smoked on that one, and I got smoked on NASDAQ as well. But I caught shorts on my position trade. So we'll go over all this. I'm going to take a short here in NASDAQ, Bark and Lick too, as long as we're not at the Ludwig level, but we are. So I'm not going to take shorts in. Where's this at here? I'm not going to take shorts in NASDAQ because trades and sexy gexies, when you see this kind of relative volume, you need to watch out because you get those types of moves and it runs right through all these gamma levels, so on and so forth, because somebody's unloading on these markets. Same with ES. So again, I shouldn't have taken either one of those sexy gexies. Instead, I lose close to $2,000 on them, so that's not cool. But at least I caught the shorts on the position trades. What was I going to check here? I forgot what I was going to check. There's also been tick extremes. So when you're getting these tick extremes, that means there's program selling, meaning these big funds and so on and so forth are unloading. So you can see there was a tick extreme there. Nothing actually in ES, so that's interesting, just in NASDAQ. But the trade I caught earlier, the big one, I traded this double size, and Barks and Licks double size. We'll go over the event, but this is the quintessence. This is the best trade in position trading. the failed balance breakout. So you wait for a volume event below the high volume node of a balance area. So balance is just two-sided trade. The high volume node is basically just the middle of the balance area where the most trade occurred. Once it breaks that, then any event below there, that's the failed balance breakout trade. And actually I just qualified this live account here for Apex. So I have these position trading accounts tied to Apex, and then this is actually a live account with a trading firm. So they're probably not real happy with those results right now. But so I'm trading both, but this is the so you got to be careful not to trade this because it's already qualified for it. We'll go over the Apex stuff here too, but all these trading strategies I talk about in this are all tied to a different Apex account. So I do that for multiple reasons, but this was the that was the FBB, so you can see, so the profit goal for that 150,000 is 9,000, so that was hit. So I can't trade on that again today. I could, but I'm already qualified, so I'll just put, if I do get another FBB, we'll put it on another account. This was the lick trade. Awesome trade there. I traded double size on these two because of my thesis. My guess was correct. I got volume events in the direction of my thesis, right? So again, the best trade in trading, once I saw this fail, got the volume event, I took bark, lick, and the FBB, and I took them double size. I didn't take the FBB double size because I was so close to the qualification for that, but you can see here. So that was this event up here. So I actually, following my rules, I went long this first trade up here. This is as he filled to the exact tick as usual. And you guys ever watch my webinars, you see that this happens to me about 50 times a day. This was a buy ice event into an inflection zone, and I was pretty bearish even up here, but I still took the trade because I don't know what's going to happen next. I do know my rules for my trades, so this was the inflection zone. If I can find the chart. I lose the chart every single time here. Hold on. Good old think or swim. I gotta funnel through 85 charts to find the chart. There it is. Hey, it should be on the main screen. Anyway, this was at the time, the event was, I believe it was in this zone here. So I took that long, took a loss, and then I turned around and went short everything, right? So that was this loss here, and then I turned around and went short everything. So anyway, that trade was, so I got stopped out on this. Again, I got filled to the tick, stopped out, that's that line. And then this came up, and that was below that high volume node I just showed you. So I took an FBB, that's an aggressive entry, meaning the first move out, I take it. But I happen to get the ATR retest, which happens nonstop. And I took the bark and the lick, and I caught this move all the way down. I didn't take these initial Kexies because I did see the relative volume, but down here, the relative volume wasn't quite spiking, and I didn't look closely enough at it to see what part of because it's a 5-minute relative volume chart that's based on that exact time period for the last 30 days. So anyway, I took this trade right into it. There are 2 Gex levels here. Normally this is a great trade, and it just ran right through it because there's such a heavy relative volume. But for the position sizing, because I don't have the micros set up on this, I could switch to it, but I should have done the micros on this one because the position trade, I can only trade 0.2. This is the drawing zone tool, Scott Zone's drawing tool. It tells you the exact size based on the risk. So I'm risking $500 per trade. So if I'm risking $500 on a trade, I can only put on my basic position trading, I can only put on 0.2. Well, I put on a full contract right in the middle of the zone, so it was less risk, but I still lost $1,100. I can't be losing $1,100, but whatever. Everything was happening very fast, so I made the best decision I could on that. So currently, all I got on is the bark and lick in ES. I did not take the reversion trade here. So this is a good example of a reversion trade. Again, the relative volume was very heavy, but the normal state, and I'll show you some from yesterday too. You can see this was basically a bounce off the blue lug. It went through it a little bit. So the event was like up here. lug, you take the reversions coming back. So that's the new trade. Newer trade back in black. So everything I'm talking about is a different trading strategy here, right? So I'll be taking different various trading strategies throughout the day, or throughout the webinar. Position trading, reversion trading, maybe some sexy gexies, we'll see. But anyway, the back in black is take 1, 2, or 3 ATR backdoor reversions, meaning as they're coming back after the market touches an important area and begins to move back through the given ATRs back to the zone. So again, usually they're like X levels that we're watching in the room. He's been hitting nonstop. Like I'll show you a couple from yesterday here. This one was an awesome one. I know the room caught this one. So this is what usually, off of a GEX level, what it looks like. So you had the event, came down, tagged this Mentor Q level to the tick. You also had spot gamma level here. You take the 3, the 2, the 1, right back to the zone. So I know my room because I was walking out the door yesterday. I saw a bunch of guys caught this trade. So that's what the back in black is meant to be. The reversion trade works on its own, meaning aggressive many times. The better trade, if you're going to take the aggressive, meaning the minute it touches the reversion, so this is the 1 ATR, the 2 ATR, the 3 ATR, the 5-minute ATR. Some guys are taking the aggressive, meaning you get in right when it touches it, but you got to take them all, right? And it's just too labor intensive for me to take, basically, even when I'm on my own, let alone the webinar. So I do concentrate on the backdoor reversion.
Order filled.
Oh, what was that?
Order filled.
What did I have on there? Interesting.
Order filled.
I don't remember putting that order in. Okay, so that was an error. Oh, you know what this was? It was supposed to be a backdoor reversion trade at the time. I mean a plus reversion trade. All right, so this is another trade, right? We're talking about the backdoor reversions. Well, another trade you can take is when you get these reversions into a prior event. But I would be out of it right now. So we'll go over this quickly. So again, I don't want to see, the way this is designed is you get an event, you tag the ATR that is in the prior event, or at least the stop is outside of it, and then you take, that's just extra help, right? Meaning we're just talking about these reversion trades, how they work on their own, but when you get prior areas that markets, these prior SI events where there's traders caught, they're holding their breath waiting for it to come back so they can get out. Well, that helps propel it to the zone too. So this trade is actually running the same trading firm that I'm trading this sexy Gexy in the back in blacks by hand. This trade is running automated. But in this case, so the way I trade these, I would have entered there if I was trading this right now by hand. Again, it's doing it on the automated. The minute you hear a new event, you're out. You just get out, right? Because this is a new event. I'm not hoping it comes back to this event if there's a new event. Now, if this event comes and does one of these, then I could take an A plus reversion. So again, this is running on the trading firm automated, but I'm going to take this one just to show you guys if it comes back here. So this would be an A plus reversion. And I got to get my stop in for these yes here. All right, so again, I took. So I can get out of these. If this ES short pops up here one more time, I'm going to get out right here versus the exit up here. This is the hot knife through butter strategy. Guys, I know I'm all over the place. I'll go over these. But when a market tags an ATR and can't go, something's up. So actually, I'm going to get out of these right now so I don't get smoked. So I'll put that right above this spot gamma level here. Say 26. All right. Was that the? I got 3 different strategies on. That's not good.
10 minutes away from the bottom of the hour, we're going natural gas change BCF. Forecast is for a draw of 193 BCF compared to the prior of a draw of 100 BCF.
All right, so those stops are in. So I took 3 strategies. I forgot I took these other ones, but I took the bark, the lick, and there was a pick up here too What's a pick? It's just a, so what I'm doing here, all these trading strategies, the majority of these trading strategies, especially the position trading strategies, I just stopped out of those. I'm looking for volume events in important areas, in my important areas, right? So this was a pick. I really wish this bounce would happen at those X levels that first time down, and I went and got smoked on those sexy X's. But anyway, the event was here. I took the pick outside of here, and it did that, and I took the bark and lick. And again, this is a different exit strategy here, and it's a trade. I could be going long here too if I wanted to. That is the hot knife through butter trade. So take trades off of SI events that attempt two or more 1 ATR moves out of the zone. Trades taken when the market moves back to the zone to tick outside of the 10% of ATR. So that's that yellow line. So this isn't the top trade that I have, but it happens so often. Like I said, it's telling you something. If it continues to tag the zone and come back and tag an ATR, it's done it twice. Something's up that didn't do that, right? So you can exit there, right above this yellow line, versus waiting for that stop out. You're just saving yourself a couple points. Most of the time it works, just like any probability strategy that you have an edge on. But like the other day, I got stopped out. Like I decided to move my stop there. It tried it like 2 or 3 times, and then later it never would have stopped me out. And later in the afternoon, it broke. So again, you got to accept it when if you're going to get out of that more aggressive exit like here, you got to accept that you might not stop out and it might be a winner. So you can see this liquidity is still down here. So I'm just deciding whether I want to just stop out at my normal price here. I'm going to put these back on. I don't usually do this, but this liquidity is going to get filled. It's almost 100%, and these markets are in a very bearish state right now. So I'll put them back on here. And I'll just stop out at the normal stop. I'm okay, because it's got to get to this Gex level too, so I'm okay with that. Again, I don't usually do this, so it's an extra 5 points, 6 points. It's not the end of the world. So I'll put it at the normal stop, because it's going to really bother me if I took this exit and this thing dies when I should have just left the stop in. Especially, like, you can use some judgment here, right? Like if you have a Gex level that it's helping you as well, that it's got to push through, then you can use the normal stop. So I'm sure there's a lot of people confused on what the hell I'm doing, but sometimes you got to make some judgment calls. So usually when I do stuff like this, I lose because of it, but I'm going to put these back on here. Plus, I'm always a sucker for a short. So, all right, so I'm back in those trades. Regular stop up here. I'm going to put this on this one too, because I think this market's going to get smoked. It already is getting smoked, but
Order filled.
all right. So the stop for these is at 31.5. So these are trades I already had on, like I said, but I stopped out right above this zone, and I decided to put them back on just because, again, it's going to bother me when this thing dies right into this liquidity, and I got out here versus where I should normally get out. So that's all I did. So I got the bark, the lick, and the pick on. So these are these trading strategies. So a bark and a lick are the same trade, right? A bark, all it is, remember I said I'm looking for these volume events in important areas. Well, a bark could happen in any area because the edge is inherent in the volume event, right? So if I get the pattern where it goes ATR, retest, confirm, it doesn't matter where this volume event happened, I'll put the trade on, right? And then the lick is the same trade, but I'm holding that until it gets to the major liquidity. Depending, like on the bark trade, I'll get out at certain areas as it comes down into those areas. With the lick trade, I will hold the whole thing until it gets to the major liquidity. So this lick trade, I may get out of some of the bark when it tags this again. If it tags this again, I'll hold the lick until it gets down to at least there. So we'll judge that as it comes down. Like I said, I'm probably going to get, anytime like I break my rules like this, I always tell my room there's no negative reinforcement in my life, in my trading life. Like every time I do something that I don't usually do or shouldn't do, technically, I get burned on it. But negative reinforcement is one of the biggest traps in trading, meaning, again, you do something wrong and it works. Well, you're going to do it wrong again in the future, like if you break your rules, what I'm saying. So say, for instance, you had the stop in where it should be, right? And then as it gets up here, like, I really still want to be short, so I'm going to cancel that stop. and you just have no stop in, and then the market ends up coming and doing that. Well, the next time you do it, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that again, and that's the time where you blow out your account, right? So the point is, negative reinforcement is a very big trap for traders. I'm okay with this. Like I said, I just got back in, and it's just an extra 5 points. So if I stop out, I stop out. That trade's on. And again, I'm using that decision on that is because of the way this. I mean, this is, down here doesn't look as bearish because it already did what I thought it would do, and I did catch that. But and you can see right where that bounced, right on that dizzy zone. But any trades, and we get new events on top of it. Any new events into these zones are going to be very good trades, shorts. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let me. So as I'm going over this stuff, post this in the Discord room too. Very quiet all of a sudden. Alright, I'll put this in the chat here if you guys want it. So I'll go over all these things as the webinar goes on, all the things that I'm using in my trading. Yes, if you hit the like button, please, because that helps the algo for Bookmap and myself. So that would be nice as a payback for learning this stuff. If you can hit the like button on YouTube, would be just tremendous. All right, what was I doing here? Oh, this was the A+ reversion here. Technically, I could take a sexy Gexy here short too. I'm gonna do one of those. All right, so I got the A+ reversion working here, but I'm going to take the sexy Gexy short. Now I'll go over this. This isn't quite at the level, but this is a variation. So what's a sexy Gexy? It's looking for a volume event, an opposing volume event into a Gex level. So this didn't quite get to this event isn't quite at the Gex level, and I actually should have gone in a little higher. I'm going to cost myself 15. And the other thing, guys, is there's a Fed guy talking too, so I shouldn't even have this damn trade on. Hold on here. I'm just going to get out of this. So I don't want to be taking sexy Gexys and reversion trades when the Fed guys are talking, right? It's anything they say out of their mouth, and these little sub-Fed dudes are always the good cops, right? They're always trying to prop the market up, especially after a move we just made. It very likely he's going to be saying something bullish. So the point is, if you're going to trade while these guys are talking, then you have to accept that any word out of their mouth could be contrary to your position, and the market's going to rip in your face, right? Just as anyone's seen lately with the Trump tariff stuff, every time he talks about tariffs, the market rips, right? For some reason, it's always against my position. I think 16 out of 17 times it's happened in the last 3 weeks, it's been against my position. So, with these Fed guys, they're talking all the time lately. Again, I don't remember in my career ever having this kind of Fed talk all the time. So it's like, if you say, oh, I'm not going to talk when Fed guys are talking, or I'm not going to trade when Fed guys are talking, well, then you might not be trading very much, right? So, if this pops up here one more time, I might take it up here and just stop out there. So what I was getting at is most of the Gexys are like this. This one didn't work because of heavy relative volume, but you want to see the volume event into the Gex level. You jump in right in the middle of the zone. So it's a great risk reward trade because most of my position trading, most of my trades are waiting for the ATR plus to get in, right? Well, these trades you can get in right away. This is a variation, so you see that wasn't quite at this level, but as long as you can get in on a bounce off of the level, you can get in right there, and here's your stop right there, right? So it's a great risk-reward trade. I missed this entry, and then I got in there, and then I realized the guy was talking. But if it comes back up here and bounces, then I'll probably take it. So that's the sexy Gexy. Other than that, I would take this A+ reversion trade here. That comes down here. So this is what I just went over earlier. So you have event. Even though I don't like to see the market for this event get the ATR below there, those aren't the best trades. The whole point is there's trap traders here. So we already know the markets revert to the zone. You use that as help. It's called the A+ reversion. Again, that's working with the trading firm. On the flip side here, I could potentially take, well, we don't really have a Gex level, but say this market ripped up here and started coming back, I could take the 3, the 2, the 1 back to the zone. So if that happens, I will take those. I'm just gonna wait on this. I'm not gonna take this Skexy with this guy talking. I know I'm back and forth, guys. So this is part of trading. Like some days I'm very regimented in with my rules, right? Some days you got to make decisions. Like, do I want to take the sexy Gexy? This isn't the worst trade. What is going on, man? I'm sorry, my phone kept going off. This isn't the worst trade. If this guy wasn't talking, I would take it. Because you do have all these volume events. This isn't part of our strategy for prior events, but you have a lot of trap traders here, especially whoever this buy ice was. They couldn't have been feeling very good as this market moved down. So very likely gonna. I want to take this so bad. Really want to take this. All right, I'll take it. I can't pass up on shorts. All right, I'm taking it. My stop's right there. Again, this is very risky with this guy talking. They're usually good cop, bad cop. So I'll get out of that here, and then I'll flip to a plus long if we can get down here. All right, so there you go. So this is a variation sexy Gexy. I'm not feeling very confident about that trade. And then I move my stop back up here, so I'm probably gonna get smoked on both of these. The way this is not feeling very good, but that's my decision. So this was, and I missed this, of course. Oh no, it was not an A plus. It was close. So again, the A plus is when you get event. Oh, I missed a sexy Gexy here too. And then you get the reversion entry either in front of the zone or in the zone, and the stop is outside. This one was through the zone, so it didn't qualify as A plus. What I did miss here is a sexy Gexy. Market came down into the Gex level with a buy ice volume event, and you want to see the opposing event, meaning I want to see buy ice or sell stops into these Gex levels. So you jump in right in the middle when you hear the thing fire off, and then you get out. What I am normally doing right now is I'm getting out of half the position when it moves out. I'm looking for the dealer reaction, and then I'll hold half the position for a bigger move. So I missed that trade, obviously. I did take the sexy Gexy off of this. You can see it on here. So that actually is one of my only winners on this stuff today for the Gexys. Market moved up, buy stops into this Gex level here. What is this, by the way? You can't see. Yeah. HVL. So this did work, right? And I got out of it. I only had one on, but into the Gex level, buy stops. I jumped in right away and moved in. It was right there, right when I heard it. And then I got out. Actually, I didn't know I was doing the NASDAQ stuff, so I got out. It worked out. I got out a little later than I should have, but so that trade worked. This was actually an A plus reversion too, wasn't it? Yeah, so again, this one worked. I just don't want to see, I don't like seeing the market push an ATR out of that event and then hoping. The whole idea is you want these traders that are caught to help it back to the zone. Well, when the market already moves an ATR out of the zone, whoever was caught here long is already saying uncle. See what I'm saying? So again, guys, and you're probably confused if this is one of your first Bookmap webinars, because I'm jumping strategy to strategy, but that's not my favorite A plus. Well, I'm sure there'll be A pluses, and we'll put one on, and it'll be more clear for you guys. All right, you got questions? Put them in. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but I just got a lot going on that I'm trying to do here. All right, so I'm just short ES, Bark, Lick, and Izzy position trade, and then I put on the sexy Gexy here. And what I'll do here, if this does move down, if this clown stops talking, I'll get out of the sexy Gexy and I'll put on the A plus reversion. Again, this is not the best because this market already, the A plus reversion, had already moved the ATR out of here. So these guys already pretty much puked. Whoever got run over here is out. So I don't know if that'll hold when it comes back. So we'll see. All right. Let's see if you guys got any questions. He's still talking. Who's talking right now? That's what DK just asked. You can see my name at the top of the bottom of the thing. All right, see what else is going on here. So I did miss some trades earlier, position trades in gold. There was some stuff up here. I thought I did. Where was that? I did not take this sexy Gexy for the reasons why I saw it late for the NASDAQ and ES. That's why I got run over those, but that's just another good example. So when it came down to this Gex level, you know, this is a double whammy too. This is inherently very bullish. I didn't take these because that was at 7 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock central, because you can see this heavy relative volume was heightened. So you want to be careful taking these trades when the relative volume is off the charts. You can see here, that was right here, right? So I avoided those sexy Gexies at least when I saw that. I just had so many things on. You can see all these trades I put on. And I just jumped in those Gexies and I paid for it dearly. All right, let's see if we can get this thing to work. Come on, little NQ. This will be like a win times 2 if this works with this clown talking. I'm telling you that. I mean, it's just the same game all the time. These sub-Fed guys pump up the market, and then Powell comes in, you know, during the minutes or the testimony, and then he drops the hammer with what's really going on. So this is another thing too, which is a little subjective. So we talk about in my room all the time, when you take these trades, you want to trade like an algo, meaning I want to wait till I at least get there to get out of some of this trade. Well, you got to use some judgment, right? So this is put support. So if it came down there and tagged that and started struggling, I'll probably just get out of this instead of trying to sneak out an extra 10 points on this. But of course it snapped back because this guy is probably saying something. So I'm going to watch this. If this does move down here, I'm going to watch this level to see if we can, if it starts to bounce, I'll probably just be out of this trade. I'm still in the ES short. All right, so the other thing too, I was telling my trading room the other day, so coming up with a thesis of what's going on. So Russell and Dow usually lead lately, like for the last couple of years. I don't know why the small caps, I mean, Dow's not small caps, Russell is. So this was telling you, here, actually I want to keep an eye on this trade. I just want to make sure, I don't want to bounce off that Gex level and not, it's not even anywhere near there. I'll try to keep an eye on this. So anyway, this was kind of signaling, and I probably missed something here in Russell, I just didn't hear it. You know, bigger picture stuff. You had Whopper balance area, it did a failed balance breakdown, and it should have gone, didn't go. That's telling you something's up, right? When something should happen, we just looked at the failed balance breakdowns the other way in ES and NQ. When something that should happen doesn't, look for multiples the other way. So that was a failed balance breakdown. It got through that high volume node, and I did rally a little bit. I mean, relatively, but that should be off the page. Instead, it held, came back, built more balance at the same high volume node, and then you started to get, you had a balance breakdown of that, came back, couldn't rally, and then you had a, so this is the trade I was looking for. This is a failed balance breakdown. This is all fractal, right? So then this was more structure. Tried to break out yesterday, today, got through there, crushed. So this whole thing has been looking bearish, and that's what I've been telling my room, heads up. And then Spock Gamma has been saying the same thing. We'll actually read that. I haven't had a chance to read it today, but let's just see what I missed here earlier, because I would have taken that failed balance breakout too. Did I miss something here? Did not, so that's good. Well, maybe. There was an event here. Oh, by the way, this is the new add-on. Like they added on the strength level. It's on the if you have your auto updates for this for these add-ons, it's the strength level add-on. So if you don't want these little Space Invader looking dudes, and if you're my age, you know exactly what I'm talking about, just unclick that. So strength level is showing you synthetic icebergs. What are synthetic icebergs? Well, most of the icebergs that come through here are exchange icebergs, meaning the entity pays extra to have their orders hidden in the order book, or pays a fee. It costs even more to have a synthetic iceberg, meaning they don't do it through the CME, they do it on their own, where they hide their orders, and then when it triggers a certain amount, then the rest fill. But it costs more money, so you don't see that many synthetic icebergs. But if you want to see the synthetic icebergs as well as the regular icebergs, you can click this strength level add-on, right? So, hold on, let's move it down. So this thing's, actually that's YM. But again, these markets lead for some reason, so I'm glad at least the YM's getting hit. Just cannot get down to this damn level to make a decision if I'm going to get out of this guy. Come on. Look at that. It's like, I'm telling you, there's a camera in my office. Every time I talk, the market does opposite. So it's still sitting in that thing. Let's see what ES is doing. So markets are just sitting here now. So you got questions, throw them in. Now's a good time when nothing's happening. Oh, YouTube looks like it's frozen. Alright, so I just refreshed my YouTube. If you guys are frozen, actually if you're frozen you're not going to hear me, but I refreshed it and it's working. Again, I'll try to keep an eye on the discussion in the Discord. It's just too hard for me to watch all this stuff. So if you can, put it in the YouTube if you got questions. Like, there's just so many channels in this Bookmap room on top of it, I can't really... Okay, no questions in there. Alright, so now we watch paint dry. So what else? Other markets I'm watching for thesis. Crude looks like it's going to rip off the page. So you had that balance area. You had two different attempted breakouts, but it tried to break down. That was a failed balance breakout. It got through that high volume node and didn't go. That's telling you something's up. And then it's kind of just grinding here. But, you know, this is all fractal. That's a balance area as well. So I would watch for a break of that. We have strategies for that. A breaking away trade. But basically, if it breaks over, I'd say 73.20, I would take all longs double size. So, again, when I'm talking about double size, it's just when a market matches my thesis, right? So, like I said today, you know, once I saw this stuff fail, I was bearish. So that doesn't mean I wouldn't take longs because I'm a day trader. But if I start seeing the events in the direction of my thesis, that was a failed balance breakout, then I trade double size. That's all I'm doing. A thesis is just purely a guess. I don't know what's going to happen next. I do know that volume events run the show because it's real-time volume hitting the market, and I know my rules and the edge around it. So I take the trades, but if they match to my guess, aka thesis, then I trade bigger. That's all I'm doing. Let's see what's going on here. But again, I mean, I had nice trades on these position trades, so I mean, I can't really... It sucks the Gexies. And again, I deserve what happened in the Gexies because I didn't see that relative volume because I was watching this stuff. But these are good trades, you know. So the Nasdaq was the biggest one. That was... And hopefully my room saw it because I did put in there... This is my trading room. I did put in there FBB. And I didn't have time to put in... I was taking the Barking Lake too, but... You guys should have seen this in my trading room, right? So I put NQ FBB short off of this event. That was at 7:48 my time, 8:48. So hopefully someone in my room caught that. It's just real quiet all of a sudden. Feels like breath holding to me before the markets go to zero. Lost my chart again, as usual. Hold on. It's unbelievable how many times I do this in a day. All right. So anyway, this had the same look as ES, right? I took this one in ES, I mean NQ as well. Failed, balance, breakout. Through that volume node, that event was up here. And I think I'm out of all those, right? Yeah. So I got out of all of them into the... I pieced out as it moved down, like in the GEX levels, and I got out of the final piece. That's what I usually try to do, is I try to hold a portion to the major lug, and you can see it got right down to the major lug. Right, so that was that. I got out of the rest there. Great trade. And the only sour thing today is the sexy Gexies so far. So if this thing can just make it down to this GEX level, I can make a decision whether I'm getting out of this. Come on. So, guys, again, this is all public knowledge. Every time I come over here, the thing rips off my page. I'm telling you, there's a camera watching me trade. All right, I'm just going to get out of this. There you go. So if you guys are still short, congratulations. Now the thing's going to get crushed. I'm not going to take this 8+. I was going to take it, but again, I don't want to see the prior event I'm talking about. I don't want to see that already make the ATR move below Plus, this is already trading with the trading firm, so I'm fine with not taking this. In the meantime, though, this event has never proved bullish, right? So if this does go down, and by the way, that was a good exit for once. See that? If it tags the ATR, retest confirm, I'm going to take the bark and lick off of this event on the short side. So again, the bark is just any event with the pattern ATR, that's the blue line, retest, confirm. So while it's dead, let's go over some of this stuff. So first thing on here is the zone drawing tool. Make your life much easier. So it's in the Bookmap marketplace. All right, so you can do the basic or the pro. So this is a good opportunity to tell you the pro. So the pro has all the reversion lines on it for the reversion trade, the back and blacks, which are just absolutely incredible. Like a lot of traders are just trading reversion trades, and because it's more of a scalping type trade, because all you're doing is looking for moves back to the volume event, and then you're out. Right? It's more algo centric, meaning it's defined rules. Because when I put on my position trades, it's subjective where I'm getting out of stuff. Right? I have my trading in the zone document right here. These are the areas that I get out. So that validated. I pay myself as the market makes money with it. So these are areas where I'll get out as the market comes down into those areas and starts to struggle, right? So this is why I always tell traders, they're always like, what's your win percentage? What's your P&L? I can show you the exact entries for these trades. So say you take a bark and a lick off that event, right? Or even this event up here, right? So say you went short up here off of this event. So I carried it all the way down because my final exit is at the lug. Well, you may not even have the lugs. So just because you put this trade on the same place I did, say you're following my rules here, ATR retest confirm, and you put this on, you may have said, oh, I'm out at the X level. So you're out here, I'm out way down here. So how is that indicative of the P&L and how it would reflect on you? You see what I'm saying? So the position trading is very subjective as far as the exits. I exit in my important areas. I give you my important areas. You may have other important areas. By the way, this ES trade is working. I'm glad I put this back on. I'm very proud of myself. I usually don't do well. So again, I'm watching this liquidity. I will be out of the full lick trade at this lick. You can bet your you-know-what that's going to get tagged. I'm not saying it's going to go there right now. I wish it did, but these guys are the big money. So when you see liquidity like this, that's the magnet. That's why we have the trade. They want to get filled. How do you know that? Because the longer it sits in here, the more you know they want to get filled. Because if something came out right now that someplace got bombed, this thing would rip right through all this liquidity. Well, they obviously want to get filled, or else they would just wait till it got down here to put it in. You see what I'm saying? Because in case some news comes out type of thing. So the longer it's been in here, the more likely it is to get tagged. So these are great target areas for any of your trades. I do have this as part of my other trades that I put on too. I have the lick trade, but say I'm in my bark trade or an Izzy or anything else, if it struggles to get through that liquidity, then I get out of some. Not all of them, not for those trades, and that's in the trading in the zone document that I just showed you that I just lost. These are all the areas that I will get out. Struggle to get through heavy resting liquidity is one of my areas. So that's what I'm talking about, where I'll get out of some. You may not even look at that. You should be looking at that, but that's why the position trading is not a good gauge of my win percentage versus what yours could be. The entries are, yeah, but what I was getting at, the reversion trades are more accurate because there's not supposed to be any subjectiveness. You saw me be subjective with the NQ at that gamma level, but for the most part, it's pretty black and white, right? You're either taking these aggressive reversions or you're waiting for a bounce off of. So this technically could be a back in black here if this bounced, right? So you're bouncing off of this. Here's your 1 ATR entry. So I may take this now if this comes back, as long as it doesn't get too far through this. Because it hasn't officially retested the zone yet, right? That's too far for me though. So again, guys, if you're playing the back and blacks off important areas, you don't want to see it push through the area. You want to see it bounce off the area. So I could have taken that one, but it's already through it, so I'm not taking that one. That doesn't mean I can't take the 2 and the 3, right? So we talked about Gex levels. So say it does this, right? Kicks off that, I would take the 2, and the 1 coming back to the zone. And what else do you have down here? So it doesn't always have to be GEX levels. It's any important area. So you see here, it doesn't just say GEX levels. Take 1, 2, or 3 ATR backdoor reversion entries after the market touches an important area. Well, yes, the GEX levels are important areas because you know the dealers are reacting. But say it came down here and bounced off the lug again, Ludwig level, I take that too. Not sure why that was pink, but... So we'll watch for reversion trades there, and then if it does do the reversion, I will put on Bark and Lick shorts off of that. Right, so my filter for Bark and Lick or algo guide is exponential moving average. So this has to be in the direction of the Bark and Lick, or I don't take the Bark and Lick. You can see this is now bearish. The blue shorter term is under the red. All right, I want to keep an eye on this ES here, and I'm going to watch for the back and black here. So this almost tagging. If this tags this blind spot, I'm going to take the. It's not quite there. I'm going to take the backdoor reversion longs. So again, I'm short ES. I'm bearish these markets, but if this trade sets up, I would take the longs coming back. If it could just come down here and tag this, I will take them. It's real close to bouncing off the lug again, too. Come on, you can do it. Let's see where this ES is here. But the other thing too is, so for instance, see how this is bouncing off this, and actually I want to get out of a couple of these, if this bounces here, I'm getting out of a couple of these shorts that I put back on. I got 7 on, I'll get out of 3 here. Because this is one of my important areas, right? This is a mentor Q level. If it can't bust through here right now, I'm going to get out of some of these. Not all of them. Got out of some of those. Got out of some of those. The lick trade, I'm not going to get out of any of them until it gets to... Actually, I got out of them on accident. That was supposed to be the pick. Hold on here. I'll put the lick back on. So again, the lick trade is supposed to be I hold the entire amount until we get to liquidity. Well, we're not at the liquidity, right? This is the liquidity that I put the lick trade on for. And then we're going to also try to judge. So if it does come down here and the tick strike's going crazy, well, then I'll try to hold it.
If there are big deportations, that will have a direct impact on jobs created.
Who is this? I don't know who's talking right now. Looks like Vance is talking too. So I don't know Vance's effect on the market, but I'm sure it'll affect it somehow. Usually against my position. So. That's not very good positive talk, but I just am a realist. All right. All right. So it still hasn't really tagged this blind spot level. So I need to see a tag there, and then I'll potentially take these reversions coming back. It may not, and I don't have the trade on. It is what it is. All right. Pretty dead though right now. The one trade I could have put on here, I just saw it right now. I could have put on an Izzy trade, so a great example of a position trade, right? I already missed this entry. Event in an important area. That's why I draw these zones. They're inflection zones where something important's happening. You can see this was a very important area. Got all these buying tails, directional conviction, buying tail. That's why that's drawn, and it's the bottom of this balance. Right, so I draw these zones every day for the trade room for free, or you can get them on my website. Even though the website's down, I got a malware attack. So if you're trying to access that Pulcinitrader.org website, it may not be working until tomorrow. Anyway, I should have taken that trade, first move back into that zone. That was that event, so I should have been short right there. I would have put it down below this prior event, but regardless, I should have taken that short. I missed that, but that's a perfect example though of putting on these trades in important areas. So that's one of my important areas. Let's see what else I missed. Possibly put on a pick. Yeah, I could have put on a pick here too. So I missed 2 different shorts here in NASDAQ. This was the top of this market profile composite over here. The event was right there.
If I was to go until we get comments from ECB's enabled, if there is a sign-up area to watch it.
All right, so I missed 2 shorts there, but at least I put those shorts back on in ES, right? All right, so that's pushing through this level now. I got out of some here. Again, if it rips down, great. I still have some on. I don't get out of all of them at these GEX levels or in my important areas. Where I usually get out of them is either the major lug, which we're not at yet. Right, that's way down here, 60.76. So say it breaks down to here, I would get out of some here too, at the top of this market profile composite. Other than that, I will hold it until there's another event that turns bullish. So say this starts ripping down, it doesn't quite get to the lug, but I get another SI event, stop iceberg event, well then I'm out. So anyway, what I was getting at here with this drawing tool, there's the pro version. That's the bookmap data, or the basic. The basic just gives you the ATR on the screen. That's the blue line, and then the entry and the exit for your position trades. The pro version gives you all the. I got to get in here and put this on. You do get the. So if you guys want to read about it, just click on the guide. Right. If you click right here, the guide will go over everything. But where's it at here? So this is what the pro version gives you versus the basic for the drawing tool. All levels used in my method of trading. Displays position sizing based on the inner capital and risk. That's very, very important. One of the biggest things you can do, because if you're not controlling your risk, you're trading too big, you're going to have a day that you blow out of your account. It's 100%. Capable of sending Telegram notifications on the events. This is awesome to have. Like, for instance, if I have to step out, it'll alert me on my phone if there's an event. Say I got a NASDAQ position on, it'll say, "Here, there's no event. Remember, I just told you I'll trail my stop to the most recent event." Well, I'm like, "Oh, hey, there's an event. I gotta log into my computer and get out of this position," type of thing. And you can configure the thresholds for all the products too. So, you usually want to keep them the same as they already are, as they're meant to be. So this is what I'm talking about here. So first of all, there's some new things here too. So someone was asking this in my room after being in there using this thing for a month. You can turn this off. If you don't want to see these numbers, just turn it off right here. See that? If that's too much for you to see, and then you get the advanced, and you get these thresholds, right? So you can change these. So there's many traders in my trade room that are from Europe. The rule of thumb, if you want to trade overnight, the Globus session is you can use half thresholds. So for instance, the ES, I won't trade a stop run unless it's 500 or more. That's my threshold for that market. Well, overnight, you can make it 250, right? If you see heavy relative volume overnight, just use normal thresholds. But most of the nights it's not heavy relative volume. So that's a way you can adjust, and it'll draw the zones for you. If you have other thresholds, then use them. And these are my thresholds, right? I've watched 4 million of these things in the last 8 years. If you think there's better thresholds, then change the thresholds, and it won't draw until you get your threshold. All right, so this is close to bouncing off this. I would take the reversions here. There's no heavy relative volume coming in, so I'm okay taking these reversion trades. Not that they're going to be winners for sure, but you see the relative volume is not off the chart, so I'm fine. There's your tag. So if it comes back, I'm going to take the back door 1 or 2 and the 1 reversion trade. So we'll hear that if that fills. Hey, I was going to say another Fed guy. So if this blows through this, it's pretty close already. I'm not going to take those, but say it bounces off the lug, then I would still take them coming back. So we'll see here. All right, so that's already through. So I'm going to cancel those right now, but I may put them back on if this bounces off the lug. So lug is just short for Ludwig level. We're here right now. And you got the 3 right there too. I might try this here. Come on. All right, so this isn't really a back door because it's right on the Ludwig level, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So that's the 3 ATR back door. My stop is at all the way down here. So this is what you get with the pro version, right? The ATR lines. So I'll take the 3. Now if it comes back, because it is bouncing off the lug, I'll take the 3, the 2, and the 1.
It's Bostic coming through with comments.
Oh, of course. Now we got a Fed guy. Again, usually they're bullish, so hopefully they'll say something bullish now. Because I did get out of some of my ES, so if it does rip off the page, at least I got out of some of there. And then I'm long the reversion trade. So here's another thing too. When I'm talking about this liquidity, as my target, you don't have to wait for the exact tag of the liquidity, because these algos will pick up the size and they run it away. This is the whole reason trading firms use icebergs, because if they drop big size in the market, so someone comes in there right now and drops, I just got filled on the 2 ATR2. Here we go. Here comes the Fed chirps, and you got some of these mag stocks coming in. All right, see if this back in black works. So the 2 just got filled. My stop for the 2 is here. Fed dudes have saved the day every single time. You guys need some high drops. Sorry. This is one of the effects of seeing my gorgeous face on video. Eyes are very dried out. Okay, so I got the 3 and the 2 on. I'll take the 1 too. See what the hero's doing. And I haven't read Spot Gamma yet today either. That's very important. You should be reading that first thing every morning. I don't know what's going on with this hero lately with these flow alerts. I've never seen them like this. Like they're, earlier today you can see all these on top of each other. So very odd. It's had some more there too. So I just want to see what it's doing. Notionally it's not really doing much, right? He talks about Brent from Spot Gamma. If you see $1 billion or more, what was validated? Oh, I'm missing. There's a something going on in wheat. Look at that in a second. I just want to see what this stuff looks like. So Spot Gamma. Alright, so the problem to turn this guy down is then I turn off, I can't hear the alerts. Anyway, in this document that I gave you, everything in this document is stuff that I use in my trading, right? So you get, not that, these are all discounts to the stuff I'm using too. So the zone drawing tool, you don't get a discount of that unless you're part of my trade room. You get 20% off of that if you're part of my trade room. We already went over the pro version. Here's my course. That goes over the dynamics and how I trade these volume events, right? That's the core of my trading. So again, you can learn the stuff as you're watching me trade, but I'm trading live, so it's going to be fast. Like if you're new in here today, your head's probably spinning, right? It's like, what is this guy doing? What is all this stuff on the chart? Once you understand how to trade these volume events and the rules behind them, then when you watch me trade, you're not sitting there trying to understand the basics. You already know, oh, okay, that got the ATR out of there. That's my aggressive entry. Oh, it did the ATR retest. You understand the ATRs. You understand the thresholds. You understand how to draw the zones, because there's other times where you're going to have to draw these zones manually, or at least combine them. You need to know how to draw the zones. So that's what the course goes over. Again, that's on my website or on the Bookmap Marketplace. So you just go to the marketplace here. Again, I don't even know if the site's working right now. This is for the zone drawing in this spreadsheet. So I have a street. I see that I got hacked. I don't know what this developer's doing. He's going to get a verbal lashing now. So if you go to my site, just go to the courses. All right, it's right here. So that's the course. So I do have the original one. I made it half price because it's still important. I mean, it's still the basic stuff that I'm doing, but it's the basic stuff that I did back then. Things have evolved in the last 4 or 5 years. This one's way more detailed and new rules, so on and so forth. So that's the course. It goes over the I have different 6 distinct volume events, right? So we got the Dumb and Dumber, when the stops. Usually the stop runs are just retail trader pukes and they reject. We have the stop and hold when a market will. Here, this was the stop and hold, both right here. So you have the Dumb and Dumber and the stop and hold. This was the stop run that held, meaning the big money came behind it. We saw that with the relative volume. And then we have the Titanic, which is just like buy ice holding, right? So this would have been a Titanic type trade or Titanic setup, right? Market comes down into buy ice, reacts, and then we have it the other way too, sell ice, and then we have combinations of some of these. Like for instance, this was a double whammy that broke. They don't usually break, but they do. It's telling you something, even though this didn't go. But the point is, these are some of the best setups. Buy ice with sell stops. So again, the retail trader puking into the waiting hands of the buy ice, right? That's a double whammy. And then we have the unicorn, the step rows. That's when you'll get sell stops and sell ice, and that's inherently would be bearish type of thing. But I go over all that in the course. So again, if you want to learn, it's best you can learn it live, but it's going to take you a lot longer. While you're watching me trade live. All right, it'd be nice if I can get filled on these. It's trying. Apple's trying to help us out here. See how I was struggling with this Gex level though? So I'm putting this other one on. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna. Well, I'll put it on. So this is the good thing about me being on the webinar. I can't do stupid crap because then I look like a fool, right? If I break my rules, I just, this market's obviously very bearish, and it's got to get through that. So this may hurt, but that one's on too. So the stop for that one is. So the other thing here too. Actually, I'm going to cover this. Sorry, this is. I have way too much size on here. Way too much size. I'm going to get out of this one too. So this is not the rule, but I'm not trading to risk $500 on each one of these. I'm only supposed to have 0.6 on. I have full contract. If this thing turns around and stops me out of all these, which it very well could, I'm going to lose like $3,000. I can't be risking $3,000 on the trade. So I should just be trading micros. For some reason, they're micros with the trading firm. They're not set up properly. So I could put on like 15 big ones, but I can only put on like 8 micros. So it doesn't make any sense. But regardless, I'm out of the first 2. I'm going to hold the 3. I'll get out of the 3 there. If you're trading with me, you shouldn't be copying my trades. First of all, you need to learn how to do this by yourself. But the way to do this is, risk level. When we said about putting the risk in the zone drawing tool, well, if it's 500 on 6, 500 on 6, 500 6. Well, then just make it, if you don't want to risk $1,500 on a trade, then you just got to trade less. You got to trade like 2 or 3, 2 or 3, 2 or 3, and then you could have them all on. I just can't have that much size. If this thing turns around, especially with this Fed guy talking, he says something bearish, I'm going to lose $3,000 on the trade. I'm not doing that. So still got the 3 on. I'm okay with it. Any questions about that? Put it in the chat room. I lost my Discord. There it is. All right. So again, you could put them in here. I don't usually see this channel while I'm on the webinar, but there's not a lot going on. So if you got questions, you can put them in Discord too. All right. In the meantime, it's been pretty terrible trade since we got on. I've explained a lot, but there's just not a lot happening. So if this does retest, I'll take the bark and lick retest and then confirm back out of the zone. I'll take the bark and lick as long as Algo Guy is bearish. And you can see it's already trying to start to pull back bullish here. So we'll see what happens if that happens. What else we got? I think there was some. So guys, this is why I always tell you to be watching other markets, right? So right now there's nothing really going on with these equities. And by the way, if you do have all 3 of these on, it's a 100% winner for you because I got out of some of them. So congratulations on that victory. That's coming back there, 100%. I just got to be prudent. I can't. This is real. This is a real money with real firm. I don't want to. The Apex stuff is important too, and especially the live accounts are real money, right? Like these are. I have these live for the. Actually, what do I have on here? Why do I have? Oh my gosh! Hold on. I didn't even know I had these things on.
Order filled.
See, this is why I use the Apex, right? It's like I had to learn the hard way. I used to trade everything on Bookmap, all my strategies, because it was all in my head. I had nothing documented, so I would just tell people, "Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." It would all be on Bookmap on my live broker account, and then I would do like what I did right here. This is a live count with Apex, right? This one's up $3,500. I would forget, like, I have a position on. I'll forget that I have orders resting in the order book, and like 3 weeks ago, I had a live PA account. I lost $5,000 and blew it out because I put on a position. I thought it was the SIM account. Point is, I make so many mistakes. I got sick of losing thousands of dollars. So it still hurts if I lose it on these because this is real money too. But it's not like devastating. Like I'm losing my family's life savings. Right? So So this one's up a little bit. This one's up $700, and this one's up. So I'm doing more Gexies and the back and blacks on these. These aren't the Apex accounts. All right, I told you this is gonna be 100% winner. By the way, this reversion trade. Congratulations. I mean, I still wanted to. I still have the trade on. I just took off the 1 and the 2 down here because it was. I just had too many on. What I was getting at though, because if I watch that, it's not gonna tag. Come on. I'm just going to prove to you there's a camera in my office. See? See, I start talking about it? Microsoft's doing its job. Where are the rest of these puppies? And the other thing, too, guys, if you're using these gamma levels now, like, if you're waiting to get filled there, yeah, you want to trade like an algo and not... All right, this is close enough. I'm out. You know, because you see, like, if you have a gamma level, like a Mentor Q gamma level, you don't have to wait for the exact tag. There's your exact tag, by the way. But you got these gamma levels here. Why do I have this in here? What is this? See what I mean? Like I... Did that tag it? Real close. So it's fine. I got out, you know, I cost myself 5 points on that. It actually didn't tag it, though. But my point is, you know, I preach all the time in my trade room, and, you know, it's do as I say, not as I do in this instance. But you want to trade like an algo. So it's like, yeah, it got close. There's nothing there like a Gex level. You got to just sit through it because, yeah, like right now I just said, oh, it's only 5 points. Well, if I do it 100 times over the next year, it's 500 points I cost myself in my P&L. It adds up. So, you know, if you have, but what I was getting at is if you have like a Gex level here, a spot gamma level, you know, and it's bouncing into that, starting to bounce off that, just get out. You don't have to wait for the exact fill. But this is going to tag it right now because every time I make a mistake or do something that I'm not supposed to do, there's your retest. Congratulations. I told you guys. So hopefully my room took those. I took them too. I just had too much size on. I can't, you know, if this turns around, I'm going to get killed. So that's fine. I'm happy with that trade. It was a nice comeback. This thing was down like $1,200. So far today, I lost on an ES earlier. Caught those. And I caught the gold A+. So, and that's just the back of black stuff, and I did very well in the position trading. So it's a good day so far. All right, but regardless, guys, this is what happens with these markets, right? For some reason, they just, I don't want to say always, but a very, very high percentage of the time will come back to the volume event. That's what the reversion trade is. So you got to see that firsthand. Let me actually cancel my orders for once. There you go. All right, so that was a good trade. And remember, this is why I got out of some of these ES shorts. It struggled here. I got out of some. So if it rips off, you know, it's fine. I still have some on, but I'm not going to take the full loss on them. And it never did tag this or come close to this liquidity. So I still have a full lick trade on, but I got out of my other one. So any questions with any of that, let me know. So what I was getting at is, you know, when these markets are doing nothing, that's why you want to be watching all these other markets, because you're just costing yourself opportunity because it's all the same stuff. This is silver, and I heard wheat. Let's see, wheat. It's all the same stuff, meaning we're just looking for volume events, aka trap traders, and we're taking advantage of the traders when they, you know, have to get out of positions, and we're taking advantage of the ridiculous regularity of these markets to come back to the volume event. So this was a bearish event in wheat. We did put on a wheat. I remember last week we put on a wheat winner. I think it was wheat long. Let's see if this is the first thing you want to identify the volume event, which the zone jar does for you. That was this sell ice right here, 258. My threshold for wheat is 150. Was that an important area? Secondly, 604 to 603.50. It was right back in this zone, so I should already have an Izzy short on here. So the market moved out, back in. Here's my Izzy zone, so I should already be short that, which I'm going to put on right now. Izzy short, I could put on 3 wheat shorts. We'll go over other potential other strategies. So that entry should be at 602. All right, so I'm just going to jump in that. And it did the ATR retest confirm. So if algo guy's bearish, which it is, this looks like a red rum too. Let's see, maybe. No, it's not.
Also,
But I could put on Bark and Lick here too.
Great, but surely.
So put that on. Bark and Lick. Oops. Now we got the dog indicator obviously outside. You guys can hear the dogs going crazy. They're not my dogs. Pretty annoying though. All right, so I need to be short Bark and Lick and Q here right now. So I just forgot to do this. This is another great thing about the zone drawing tool because it tells you when you need to be in. Hold on here. Hold on, NASDAQ. Don't be running away on me. So I could put on 3 there. And mind you, we're getting into a time of day that, you know, between 10, 10:15, 10:30, and 12:30 Central, not a good time to be trading, especially Bark and Licks. And I just entered right at this. I did not want to do that. So here's a good example of being a little subjective, right? I just entered right on that GEX level. Just move it a little bit below there. I mean, it's already traded up and through it. It is what it is. But if you have your entry right at a GEX level, see how it's bouncing there? Because these dealers are hedging. So put it a little bit below. I mean, I already have the trade on, but just be cognizant of that. My point being, we're getting into this time of day that it starts to get, the big money starts to go to lunch in New York, then they go into Chicago, and then it's a free-for-all with these algos, right? And it very rarely will you see big moves. That's why you watch relative volume. Relative volume picks up, then there's something bigger going on. But this is a very dangerous trade at this point of day, especially Barks and Licks. So, you know, if this loses, what I used to have to do is physically remove myself from the office so I wouldn't trade at this time of day. So I've lost millions and millions of dollars, and it's not just equities; it's across the board. Like we even had guys in my trade room show this one. They went back and looked at their stats. Like almost every one of them, every product they were trading was a loser between 10:30 and 12:30 Central. And it's just the nature of the markets because there's just nothing going on. These algos start to whipsaw everybody. So I put this on, but I am not going to be surprised if this whipsaws me out. 23.75. So these are so for the position trades, this is the entry, this yellow line. Again, I got in right at the GEX level like a moron, and here's my stop. So this is the best way that I determine to enter these trades and exit to avoid the algos, right? Because when the algos know there's nothing going on, just like we could see there's nothing going on as far as the big money right now, right? So you see this, there's nothing happening. They know that, so then they just start whipsawing traders to death because they're not going to get run over by big money, right? It's when the big money comes in here, that's when the algos that are playing their games, they get their asses handed to them. Right now, you know, there's nothing going on. Like so this feels like, okay, I would have been filled. I mean, it's probably going to do this about 50 times, right? So the best way to avoid this is just don't trade at this time of day. You save yourself years off of your life and thousands, if not millions, off your P&L. So again, do as I say, not as I do. I have the trade on. Stop is, you can see it down here in the bottom left, and it's over here. You can get these on this part of your chart too. So if I were to go long, this would be my log entry, and my stop's this. I'm short, so my short entry is that, and my stop is up there. That's how I get in, trade these position trades. The GEXI trades are auto entries, but most of my trades, I force the market to move the ATR out to get in, just outside of an ATR, and I force it to come. So if I'm going to be wrong on this trade, I'm making this thing come all the way back, ATR, get through the volume event, where there's trap traders, and then push another ATR plus, and then I say, Uncle, you win on to the next trade. That's how I trade it. This sizing tool, it takes into consideration all that. It takes into consideration the ATR, which is pretty heightened right now, by the way. It takes into consideration the zone size and the ATR that you're risking. That's what that is. So you don't have to sit there and wonder, well, how many do I put in if I'm risking up there? That's why it doesn't matter how volatile it gets, right? So say this ATR pops to the 70, which is almost never happens, but say it does. Well, this will adjust. And I put on the trades like I always do. Like someone in my trade room last week said, she was asking if you can trade, is it better to trade on holidays because it's so slow? I'm like, why would it be better? Because you just feel more comfortable in the trade, right? So it's like if you have this stuff and you have this stuff laid out, your rules, you're comfortable whether it's a 7 ATR or it's a 70 ATR. It tells you your position, it tells you where you get in, it tells you where you get out. You put the trade on and let it work. If you stop out, it's probabilities, on to the next trade. That's it. That's all trading is.
Prior high 0.25%, and the private to cover was 2.93.
All right, so I got Bark, Lick, and Izzy short on in wheat. Let's see what this looks like over here. If I missed any other trades. Nothing market profile composite, even though, so this is a good example of merging these, right? So these are single days. Composites are merge days. The value areas, value area, value area, value area. So these, the rule of thumb is if the value area, which is 70% of the trade for that day, right? If it overlaps the prior day by more than 50% of that value area, then you can merge them. Well, this did not. But this third day did. Hold on, I'll come back to that. We got some stuff in gold here. So this A plus, did it work? Yeah, this A plus. Well, no, remember we didn't take it because the entry was just above it. But that did come back to the zone twice. Should I be? I should probably be long here. Did I miss a trade? I'm sure I did. Let's see. Yep, that guy was bullish. Missed a trade there, and this was a red rum too. So this buy ice, algo guy's bullish. ATR retest should be long that, and this was a red rum. What's a red rum? It's just the red ribbon exponential moving average. The volume event is in an important area, so that was basically there. That's first move out, so I should have taken that trade too, so I missed both these trades. Regardless, here's a new event. I will try a Gexi here. So this is another example. This event isn't quite at these Gex levels, but say it pops up here and starts to fail, I'll put on the Gexi, like right now. Hold on. I'm just gonna put on one. All right. So the great thing about this trade, again, if this was a position trade, I'm waiting for this thing to move all the way out of here before I get in. Well, this trade I can get in the zone or just out of, as long as it's at the Gex level, and my stop's right there. So I'm just risking right there for a potential bigger move. Hold on here. So the way you're supposed to trade these, again, I'm trading the big contracts, so I don't want to, this is showing me for 0.5, I could probably risk 2 here. Hold on. Let's just do this. All right, so here's my stop for those. So the way that I'm trading this currently, this is a brand new trade. I got to watch, many more to come up with more distinct rules. But it's such a great edge that I'm willing to trade it right now, even though I don't have everything down. Meaning, the way I'm trading now is I'm looking for the dealer reaction off the Gex levels. I get out of one just in front of an ATR because these algos love to bounce it off before the ATR, and then I'll hold one for a bigger move because it is a volume event like a position trade, right? So I got Gexis on there. This is probably still too much size, but I'm all right with it because I was able to get in at a better price too. So I'm all right with that. So I got Sexy Gexi short on. I should have Bark, Lick, and Red Rum long on, but I don't. So, but say you did see this. I did not. This is what I want in my trading room too, by the way. My trading room should be pointing out, hey, there's a Bark and Lick and gold and a Red Rum. If everyone's contributing, it's like we're on a trading firm and no one misses trades. I guarantee you if I go in there, no one said a word about this thing. So they're all in the doghouse. Let's just look. Let's see how many people pointed out all the trades in gold. And if you did, then your teacher's pet. Let's see. Dune Runner got the 2 ATR. There you go. We didn't even get an Apex shot. I'll cover that here in a little bit. He got another PA. Guys, Scott first position on BM was due to long blue. Yes, it was the blue lug I took it off of, not the... I originally was going to take it off of that, and it blew through the BL7, blind spot 7, and it bounced out the blue lug. Well, that's weird. I don't see any. Here's the only one here. Delta's the most... So here's a great example, guys, of being quiet and not, especially if you come in my room, not asking questions, not posting stuff, even if you're wrong. I even pinned this. This is from Mr. Delta here. I've done some mentoring with him too. Right here. I'm going to get whipsawed out of that NASDAQ just like I thought. It's a crappy time of day. Sir, just wanted to inform you, I've been a secret squirrel. That's what I call them in my room. When you sit there like you've always done and don't say anything and don't participate. Since 1 year since I joined the room. Participating in the room by posting trades has certainly improved my confidence. When I was a secret squirrel, I was confused and not confident. By participating, it has improved my confidence. I'm sure by following your rules, we'll make an excellent returns this month. He's already been killing it. So that's already happened. This is a while ago, February 7th. And then I said, could I post this to show all the secret squirrels that never participate in the room? And the guys, I tell you, the turnover rate for my room, the people that you quit are the people that don't participate because they just don't get it and they're just not trying to get it. So that, I can only do so much. I can show what I'm doing. I'm here to help. You post the stuff in the room. I'll tell you if you're right, you're wrong. You will get verbal lashings once in a while. It's just going to make you better, and they're part comical too. And then he said, yes, sir, I wasted 100% of my 1 year by staying quiet. So there you go. And like I said, no one posted those gold trades, or I might have caught them. So you guys are all in the doghouse. And I'll lose on this sexy Gexy. What's this? No, I mean, the relative volume's fine. So I'm okay with this trade. I didn't do anything wrong with it. Is you're going to have losing trades, right? So this, I had a winner earlier. This one loses, on to the next trade. But I didn't do anything wrong on this trade, right? It came into the Gex level. I got the volume event, went a little higher into the Gex level. I took the trade. My stop's up here. If it stops me out, it stops me out. What I could also do here is potential back in blacks. We just saw one in NASDAQ off the lug. So say it did stop me out, but came here, tag that. I can take the 2 ATR reversion back in black, the 1 ATR reversion back to the zone. So even if I get stepped out of those, I might take those coming back. So that's working. Dooner had GC on earlier, but took it off when quailed. What's a quailed? What is qualled? Or qualified? What do you mean qualified? This never disqualified, did it? No, this was always a bullish event. I don't know what you mean by that, but I think that's what you mean. All right, and you can see, like, this is why I'm using tick. They're buying this tick. They're buying it. Like, you can't predict this stuff, guys. You just put on the trade, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you're on to the next trade. I can't predict that someone's going to come in here and buy the bejesus out of this thing right now, right? So you put it on. That's what probabilities and edge are. That's what trading is. If you think it's anything different, then you're in the wrong business. All right, so I'm probably going to stop out of that. On to the next trade. All right, so again, guys, I put this DASIC trade on. This is just. Let's get stepped out of those puppies. It's just a terrible time of day to be trading, and this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. It wasn't quite 10. I say 10:30, so I was okay putting on it. All right, I just stopped out of that Gexy in gold. I gave back my profit there. It makes me sad, but I didn't do anything wrong there. There was no heavy relative volume. The one thing you can say, again, I have to watch more of these. I think they're okay when you get the event just below it, right? Like this one was, because I've seen a ton of these work, and then it tags it and then goes. But this event wasn't actually on these Gex levels. So, if I keep losing in this situation, in this setup, or the event's below it, and I'm getting in at it, and it goes right through it, then I'll just wait for events right at them, right? Again, I got to watch more of them. So that one lost. Big deal. On to the next trade. All right, so like I was saying, I have this trade on, but I'm not holding my breath because it's just a terrible time of day. All right, see if you guys had any questions. Oh, that was special too. Here's the, again, 10 times a day. It's already been twice today, by the way. Filled the exact tick. Right back. So here's the other thing too with this back in black. So remember I said I'd take it if it tagged these and started coming back. Well, if it retests right now, it already hit the 1 ATR and retest, then I won't take the other ones because it's already retested. The whole idea is to take the retest of the zone. If it already retests after the 1 ATR hits, there was nothing for me to put this one on. You could have done it aggressively. This is a good example. You just put on aggressive, you're probably going to have a winner here. But my point is, if it does retest, I'm not going to put on those other ones now because it already retested. So it's just very special. I get stopped out of the tick, though. I just love that. So it feels so good. All right, see if you guys got any questions. Alex message retracted. Nothing in there. And I'm not seeing anything in Bookmap. Nope, no questions. All right, I guess I'm just such a good teacher. All right, guys, so not a ton to do. I mean, I got back in those ES shorts. I still have some of those on and caught a nice back in black. Again, I had to bail out of 2 of them because I had too much size on. But if you guys, in the trading room especially, You guys should have caught that. That was right off that blue lug. Took the 3, the 2, and if you took the 1, we're right back to the zone. That's the trade. And that was off of this to the tick, by the way. That's why we use these Ludwig levels. So just quickly, I'll just run through this like I always do. I got about a minute here. There's the course. Here's if you, again, this site's down, it got attacked, so it'll be up. But you get this stuff free with my trade room too. So you'll get so the zone drawer is this spreadsheet, right? So you'll get this to have. And say the zone drawer goes down, but the zone drawer is the spreadsheet. It's just the spreadsheet on the heat map. Here's a link to my trade room. And then here's discounts to everything. Bookmap, basic software, the Global Plus. You want to get Global Plus because you get so much more out of that, like with the sweeps and everything else. We got a setup here. This might be a Gexy right here. Let's see, not quite there. So there's another variation of it, but I'll take this just. So if I'm going to take them, I'm going to take them. So say this tags the Gex, I'm going to take this one just like I took gold. Relative volume is not spiking, so I'll take this Gexy as well. If it pops up there, I can put on basically 3 of them. So I'll watch that. So say it tags Gex and starts coming off, I'm going to put on that sexy Gexy too. Other than that, you can take the reversions, depending on what happens here. This is the first event all day in Crude, by the way. Kind of strange. Anyway, you need the Bookmap software. You need the MBO bundle. That is what powers the SI indicator. With the SI indicator, I'm sorry, it doesn't power it. It is the SI indicator and many other things like market pulse. We haven't talked about that today, but very important. Here's Apex. Use Pulcini 50 for anything you're using. We've been talking about those all day. Great way to work on your trading, and if you do well, you're funded anyway. Again, I use mostly the 150s and the 250s. 150 is the best bang for your buck as far as risk, what you have to make before you lose it. So again, don't be fooled by this. It's not a $100,000 account. It's or $150,000 account, right? You got to make it's like a $5,000 account because if you lose $5,000, you blow out of it. But the goal is you hit 9,000. So we saw one of those today already qualified before you lose 5, and it's a trailing stop too. So I go over this every week, but this is the one I use. I know there are a dime a dozen out there now, but this one's always done everything they say they're going to do. Pay out. Many people have been paid in my room. I've been paid multiple times. They do everything they say they're going to do. This is the one I put my name behind. Other than that, met their Q levels. There's discounts for all that. If you want the yearly or the monthly, incredible levels. Spot Gamma, incredible levels, incredible commentary, and the trace indicator, the hero indicator. Use Scott. You get 2 weeks to try that out. You won't go back when you have it. Great information. Tick Strike. That's this guy. Just gives you a heads up of other. I watch the Mag 7 stocks too, but it lets you know if these other markets are firing off audio wise. Trader Sync to keep track of your trades. Ludwig levels. Go to her site. Fill in the 3-day trial. Say you saw it on Bookmap. You got special pricing, and here's all my reviews. All right, guys, that's it. So do this every day in my trading room twice a day. Come on over. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.